All right. We have some new fantastic information from Blizzard about housing. Housing has been something that I and many of you out there have wanted since the beginning of the game. There were many games that had it prior. SWG was one of them. If you don't know what that is, that's Star Wars Galaxies. I believe EverQuest had housing. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But Blizzard was fighting it. They didn't want to do it. Then Final Fantasy 14 came into it, and they started having all of the housing, which is something of a different animal there, you know? But now Blizzard has given us a promise that they are bringing housing into the game. Now, they've shared with us a beautiful look at the housing. They're going to show us a couple, like a room, and I'll show you some videos, and we'll see how this all kind of plays in. So, getting down to the basics, the decorations have two primary modes. They're going to basic advanced. You can freely toggle things between them at any time while decorating with a key press. Basic mode allows you to quickly paste and remove. Like if any of you guys have played other games like Guild Wars 2, you guys have all of this. The second this game updates with player housing is when I quit. Well, I'm going to have to say bye because it's coming. Winter is coming, so it's here. And decor can be moved around on the ground. You know, they're giving us things like this. Here's a little video. If you're looking at it, you know how you can move the table, you know, back and forth. These are things they're going to be able to have to do. Decor has collision with other pieces of decorations. They have collision. So basically, you won't be able to stack or bump into things or put them through the wall, which you can do in Final Fantasy 14 if you can glitch it the right way. Decor will align to the floor, wall, ceiling, depending on what sort of decor, you know, if it's a rug, a painting. So we get to see some of this. This here is a basic snap placement on surfaces. So you'll be able to move a window, you know, on the wall to wherever you have it or want it. That's something that they're being able to do. It looks like certain types of smaller decor with parent. Different types of decor placed on top of them, which means you can move larger decor. The smaller decor moves along with it. This allows you to, for example, place books on a bookshelf, yada, yada. Yeah. I don't care about that. All right. So you're being able to put food and mugs on the table, which is that is nice. And then you can move it around, you know. Players can show a grid, enable snapping, snap their decorations. Now, people that, like I would call them interior decorators, they know this from other games. But one thing that Blizzard has been able to do is that they've been able to look at like everyone else's games and make it better. You know, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to do that and really take this to a new level. So what would be neat, for instance, if you give me a basement in my house, let's say, for instance, I want to have blacksmithing, or maybe give me a garage so I can put it outside and make sure I don't burn down the house, you know, things like that. But that's so advanced, but that's so restrictive. We hear you saying, don't worry, just switch to advanced mode, feel true power. At your game tips, advanced mode effectively turns off a lot of the rules of basic mode. Decor has no collision in advance. So maybe you could turn around and glitch it. Let's see what they're talking about. Do you take it? What is he going to do? He's going to move it into the fireplace. You can put it through the walls. And that'll be advanced placement. Okay. All right. And then what's this? Advanced floating. What is he doing here? Is he going to be able to raise it up? Yep. All right. That might be kind of neat for like magic users, you know, for a mage's house. Maybe they want to have a whole bunch of floating books, you know, things like that. Or like a warlock, you might want to have a floating altar. A different gimbal that can be used, rotate an object freely and use the axis as well. This would mean turning the table on its side. I bet you. That's going that way, but then there's another one. Yep. I told you. I told you. And they can even go vertical. Yep, that's something different. Finally, a third gimbal can scale an object size up and down, taking it to a grand table. A grand table. This would be something nice if you had a guild hall. So for instance, if you had a guild hall, then you could make the table as large of maybe all of your officers. Maybe you could have a round table. Make it like the round table of, you know, Arthur's Knights. That would be kind of neat. Advanced mode lets you interact design with the specific controls to make whatever your heart may desire. Internally using this, employees have taken brushes and made them into garland for their fireplaces, constructed a boat's prow from a bed, or made paint buckets into small spice racks for their kitchens. So this is a nice picture of what this, you know, look, they even have a Christmas tree. You know, they got the rug there, only one couch, and I don't know who would ever just want one chair like that. I mean, it is what it is. We've been dying for housing. In addition, for decoration modes, we wanted to call out some other functionalities and choices we've made. Some because they're cool and worth sharing, and others because they directly answer some of the questions we've seen since the first article went up. For newly created assets, as opposed to legacy, we're allowing players to dye them. Oh, look, they're going to bring dyes. They're going to bring dyes into that. What do you guys think about that? They're going to bring dyes in for newly created assets. Find a chair, but wish to upholster it blue instead of gray. You can make that change, but what if the blue doesn't match the satin, the stain on the wood or the color, metal now? Can you fix it? Looks like you can. You take it and you want to change your wood color, you could do that. See, one of the things that I thought they could have done here is create a different profession. I thought by making a different profession, they would have been able to create more economy. You know, they could have made a person that makes dyes, or somebody that makes like how are we going to get these things? How are we going to acquire them? We have one. Who do we have? Because, you know, I enjoy the thought of it, but maybe somebody doesn't want to be a tailor. Transcripts and inscriptionists, that's nearly a dead profession, you know? Hi, Skylar. Maybe they will add that after they see how this goes. Could be a possibility, but there would be more. I think there would be more demand if they did it now, because then it would be a pillar. It would be a foundation. You have the crafters for it. They put their work on the auction house, and then you turn around and you're looking to see what will fit your place best. But that's not all. It's just not decorations. You can customize your space, but the wallpaper, ceiling, and flooring is. But the wallpapers, you can mix and match these, elicit various cultures and vibes, or just make it your own. I wonder if we're going to have a template. Let's say, for instance, They put you in Silvermoon, or you wanna have a place in Silvermoon. Can you choose a housing that can match that? Just outright purchase the structure that way? That would be neat. A list of various cultures, vibes, just make it your own. You could take things a step further too. Partition objects, build walls where none were before, letting you make rooms with arbitrary. That's something neat. You know, so everybody's house could maybe be different. That's why I'm saying they need an interior designer profession, because you could hire these people to come in. You give them certain permissions and they come in and they just design your home, or pick what should go here, there, and everywhere. Because there's people that want a nice home, but really don't have the time to delve into that. You know, they want these things so that they could turn around and say, you know, I really enjoy the thought of having a home, but I don't think I would make a good home on my own. Here's a house layout from above. All UI shown as subject to change. Speaking of mixing and matching, we saw a lot of questions around what would be allowed in terms of decor inside of your home. You can make decorate however you want. So if you want blood F wallpaper with a stone roof, wood floor, go for it. That's a nice place. I mean, has a bar. It looks like they put kegs in there for seats. You know, let's say you want to put little cushions on the top of the kegs. You know, who wants to sit on a wooden keg all day after you just got done working, killing dragons? Before we go outside, while we're not really talking about exteriors in this article, it's worth mentioning that outside size of your house has no bearing on how big the interior is. You want a huge mansion outside, but just one room inside? Or a tiny shack on the outside, but a dozen rooms on the inside? Really? We'll share more about the exteriors for your home later. There's so much more to discuss with decorations. But in the meantime, here's another screenshot. Team member made it mixing various styles. So it looks like they're doing... It looks like they're really bringing it, like you see the bookshelf in the back, and that brings me to a picture that I have. Wait for it. I have a picture from Final Fantasy 14. And this picture I took that let you put the paintings there, and you have the bookshelf. Now this is the FC house. You know? I know I'm a bun boy. Don't go fucking with me. Fuck you. But there's so much more to this FC house, which would be basically your guild hall, that there's so much that is interactive. You can cook there. You could repair there. You could buy gems from there and things like that. So I thought that was kind of neat. I think it's one of those things that we'll all get to see. And like I said, I believe Blizzard will take this to another level. We'll be able to make it their own. And until we get to see it in action, you know, we'll see what the comments are some other time. But I look forward to it. Why not? There's so many other games that have it. It's about time that we've gotten it here. So let it go. Let it ride.